It's okay, Harry. We all miss him. Hey guys, it's Drew with Living History Comes Alive, and I'm out here today with Rob.
What's up, guys?
Michigander man. We were finally able to get something going. We decided to come out to Cedar Grove Cemetery right here in Notre, Indiana. There's a lot of famous ball players and coaches buried out here. But we're going to start this video off with probably the most famous person of all that's interned here. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Like I said, we are here in Cedar Grove Cemetery today. Rob, Michigander man, with me. He was coming down here and knew I was on his way. Yep, he asked me if I wanted to join.
I had to pick this guy up.
That's what happens when you can't drive anymore because your eyeballs are going. But like I said, there's a lot of famous ball players and coaches, alumni, former professors that are buried in this cemetery. But there's one man in particular who attended college here and never forgot where he got his start. And even though he moved out west, out to California, and became famous, when he passed away, he had his funeral services at Notre Dame. He donated a lot of money and funding to the college for multiple programs. I think we need to start the video with him.
Sleeping problems, right?
A television fixture for more than half a century, Regis Philbin's eclectic interview style, folksy banter, and self-deprecating sense of humor made him the talk show host others wanted to emulate. Philbin was raised in the Bronx. After a stint in the Navy, he headed west to San Diego, where he landed his first talk show, The Regis Philbin Show.
We'll be right back now.
Philbin's sprint to talk show superstardom brought him next to Los Angeles, where he took over hosting duties from Steve Allen, before finally bursting onto the national stage as the sidekick on the Joey Bishop Show.
The hottest thing on records, Regis Philbin.
Right here, we're standing at the very simple, very modest grave of Regis Philbin. Of course, famous for Regis and Kathy Lee, and then later on becoming Regis and Kelly. I know a lot of you probably grew up watching him on television. I know I did. And he always made me laugh. His antics, his sense of humor, the way he handled his guests, he was always that small town boy, regardless how big the city was he lived in. And I just thought it was right that we came here first and paid our respects to a great man who never forgot where he came from. Oh, Harry, it's all right. We all miss him. Founded in 1843 by Father Edward Sorin, 1 year after founding Notre Dame University, Cedar Grove Cemetery has been a focal point on university grounds ever since. During the early years, Cedar Grove was located on the far outer fringes of the campus, but as the campus grew, it slowly encompassed the cemetery. Throughout the 19th and most of the 20th century, Cedar Grove was a Catholic cemetery open to the public. In the 1970s, ownership was transferred from the Holy Cross to the university, and in 1977 it became a private cemetery. Cedar Grove now encompasses 22 acres with 4 mausolea on site. There are so many of these little iron crosses. It's just amazing how many people have opted for the small iron crosses over a large fancy stone. It's amazing. As you can see in this footage, you get a bearing of exactly how close, how deep into the university the cemetery is now. All these buildings in the background are university buildings. In the early years, they were over a quarter mile away from the university. If you look right down here, right in the center of your screen is the dome that the university is famous for. Right here is the Our Lady of Sorrows monument that sits just to the east side of the mausolea. It's truly a beautiful place. It's very well taken care of. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The 4 mausolea that were built on grounds can hold up to 720 interned in each one. And in the late 70s, they began accepting cremations. The decor and the statuary that stands around this cemetery is amazing. This right here is the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. There are many, many soldiers from everything from the Civil War all the way up to our most recent conflicts interned here. I thought there would be a section where they were all buried in, but they let them be buried with their families. And their graves are especially very well upkept and very, very beautiful. But the soldiers and sailors are not the only ones here. Let's look into some of the more notable burials here. Dave Duerson, Chicago Bears defensive back, New York Giants and Phoenix Cardinals safety. Leon Hart, 1949 Heisman Trophy winner. Joseph Eugene Kernan, 48th Governor of Indiana and noted Notre Dame ball player. Edward W. Moose Krause, Hall of Fame basketball player and coach for Notre Dame University. Raymond Edward Ray Lemick, Notre Dame alumni, professional football player with the Washington Redskins and Pittsburgh Steelers. Jim Seymour, Chicago Bears wide receiver and Notre Dame alum. Another noted Notre Dame alum is former coach Ara Parsajian. He began playing football his junior year in high school. He later enrolled at the University of Akron, but soon quit to join the U.S. Navy for 2 years during World War II. After the war, he returned to college at Miami University of Ohio and went on to play halfback for the Cleveland Browns in 1948 and 49. When his career as a player ended due to a hip injury, he began coaching, first at Miami of Ohio, then Ohio State, and later at Northwestern University of Illinois. Parseghian's impressive ability to turn losing teams into winners gained the attention of Notre Dame, which had no wins on record for 5 straight seasons. During the era of Ara, Parseghian turned Notre Dame around, almost grabbing the national championship his first year. Retired from coaching in 1974 with an impressive 170 to 58 to 6 and a Hall of Fame inductee in 1980. Another piece of Cedar Grove and Notre Dame history is the All Souls Chapel, the oldest continuously used chapel at Notre Dame. Designed and constructed by Brother Francis Xavier in 1860, who was a skilled carpenter and a self-taught architect, contributed also to most of the 19th century buildings found on the campus. Besides its pastoral duties, the All Souls Chapel has served as a mortuary, a carpenter shop, and an office. Restored in 2004, the chapel was returned to its original glory, finally replacing the roof and onion-shaped steeple, which were destroyed by fire in 1926. And lastly, 2 of the biggest notables interned here. Pierre Navarre and Alexis Coquillard. In 1820, the first permanent settler, Pierre Navarre, built a cabin on the north side of the St. Joseph River. 3 years later, Alexis Coquillard founded a fur trading post a short distance away and gave the name South Bend to the settlement in reference to its location at the Indiana bend of the St. Joseph River. This beautiful cabin now sits uptown in a park in downtown South Bend.
His family, the rest of his family right there.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for Cedar Grove Cemetery here in Notre Dame, Indiana. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me and Rob on this little adventure. We're sorry we had to keep it a secret from everybody, but doggone it, once in a while, isn't a surprise nice? We've seen some really interesting graves out here. We've talked about some of the players, some of the alumni, some of the professors that have been here. We've seen Regis Philbin's grave. There's just so much to see here. It would take us forever to get everything in here. But again, thank you guys for joining us on this little adventure. As always, I'd like to ask you to please like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't forget, ding that little bell. That way you'll know when new videos come up, and I prove time and time again, you never know what we're going to talk about. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God, you're getting awful aggressive there. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you. God love you guys. We do.
And I'll see you on down the road.
What? Why? Well, camera hog.
Somebody's got to do it.